Guys, in this video we are taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/10 scale on-road RC cars. And if you look behind me, I've made this very professional looking score sheet, and I'm putting them up against each other over 7 different categories: price, looks, speed, performance, value for money, spares, and quality. They will be scored 1 to 5, 1 being the best, 5 being the worst. And at the end, I'll total all the scores up, and the one with the lowest score wins. And then they get to, well, win. So taking on this challenge, we have the Kyosho Phaser Mark II, the HPI Sport 3, the FTX Stinger, the Team Associated Apex 2, and last but definitely not least, well, maybe, the Traxxas Fortec 3.0. Why have I chosen all of these? Well, all of them come in at under, in the UK, under £300. Yes, finally, I'm doing a video with prices in pounds. And I bought these from the UK, so it's only right that I talk about them in pounds. Anyway, let's get this first category out of the way, price. Like I just said, all 5 of these come in at around a similar price point. We'll start with the Traxxas. This was £289. Just to note, that was on sale. This was also on sale and it came in at £259. This was also £259, but that is its price, it wasn't on sale. The FTX Stinger is £239. Finally, the Phaser Mark II, that is £249. So I make that 1 point to the FTX, 2 points to the Kyosho, 3 points to the HPI. Now, even though the HPI and the Associated were the same price, this one's on sale. So this gets 4 points. And then the most expensive in this bunch is the Traxxas. That gets 5 points. So next is looks. And we'll start with the Traxxas. But before we do that, we need to fix it. When I got this and opened the box, a drive shaft fell out. And on closer inspection, the rear carrier has snapped. Look at that. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to take any points off just yet for that. The only reason I think that has happened is that cable tie, or that zip tie, when this was put in the box, I reckon it was caught over there, pulled through and snapped it, because the box it came in, there is absolutely no damage on that at all. So I reckon that was just a freak accident. Anyway, no issues. Big shout to Model Sport, where I got this from. They sent me some replacements. Didn't have to buy these, it was done under warranty. So, I mean, looks are subjective, everyone has a different opinion. These, and also these chassis come with different bodies. But these are the ones we've got, and these are what we're going to be judging on. Now, I'm generally not a Corvette fan, but I will say this does look very nice. Fully licensed. You've got a clear window there, and you can see into like a scale little engine. Proper lights on there, not just stickers or anything. Does look very nice, especially in this colour. I don't think this colour's on offer anymore, but it's like a nice metallic black. That's very nice. This category is going to be difficult to score, I can tell. Strong start from the Traxxas. I've not seen this one yet, I've not opened it. So another licensed one, I think it's licensed. It says Chevy Camaro on the box, but it's lacking a little bit in, well, there's a sticker there. Unless the stickers come in the box. But anyway, another really nice looking one. Not quite as detailed as the Traxxas. I'm not sure them stickers have been put on properly. No real crazy details on that, but a nice looking body. Oh, I forgot to mention wheels as well. It's got some nice like black chrome, do you call it? This one looks like, I don't know whether they're just like generic ones or whether they're to scale for what that style of Chevy would have. No, I don't know. Next, this one needs no introduction at all, does it? This is the Huni truck. It is one of my favourite. It looks so good. Every single angle, it looks good. I'm a bit of a fan, as you can see. Anyway, really nice details. You've got your 2 turbos there, moulded grille, bit of a roll cage there, some little side steps, side guards, and a spoiler. Very nice. Next is the only one that's not brand new out of the box. That's because there wasn't any in stock when I wanted new ones. Give it a quick dust off. The FTX Stinger. You have to excuse the war scars. I will not be taking them into account when I'm judging. Only one out of the 5 because the Phaser is also licensed. This is the only one out of the 5 that isn't a licensed body. However, it does look very nice. It's got working lights. You can actually see through the windows on this. They are tinted. Moulded mirrors, really nice moulded grille there. You got like halo front lights on it. A very nice looking car. Right, I've saved this one till last purely because I think this is going to be the winner. Yes, definitely the winner for me. Oh, look at it. Look at the mini light wheels, moulded arches, front spoiler, moulded grille, GTR badge, classic JDM wing mirrors, and then that back end. Definitely, 100%. Shiny discs or rotors and calipers. The Traxxas has also got them, as does the Huni truck. That one doesn't, that one doesn't. Right, now this comes a difficult bit. Well, not for number one. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Huni truck and Hoonigan and stuff like that. Tough one between that and the Traxxas. The HPI, it's just, although it's a nice body, it's just a bit too simple, a bit too plain. In fact, I think it should go that way. The majority of people would agree with me on that. I'm not sure if everyone would agree. I don't know whether. I'll tell you what, I think we should do it like that, even though I'd say they're probably joint second, but I'm going to put the Corvette there because I just like the details on it. Really nice look. Classic, but for the people. So, Kyosho, number one. Traxxas, 2, Associated, 3, 4, and 5. Everyone's favourite next, speed. So 5 fully charged lipos, all exactly the same. These two are just a different colour, but they're all 3,300 milliamp hour and all 35C. So no cheating going on, all fully charged. Let's go see what speed they do. Kyosho first, gonna set the time. I'm ignoring all box speeds. Box speeds mean nothing for these runs, it's purely how fast they all individually do straight out the box. That's full throttle. I made sure throttles are on full, no training modes or anything. I want to be careful with the body on this one. Well, you don't want to trash it. It looks so good. So the first score on the board is 23 mile an hour. That's not bad. All right, Mr. Traxxas, you are next. Whoa, slippery on them tyres. It's a bit wet today. These probably need bedding in a little bit. 23 is the target at the moment. That's full throttle. That's not 23. Definitely not in training mode, I promise. I think if I remember correctly, this should be about 18 or 19. There you go, 19. 19 mile an hour. That's definitely not in trading mode because the last 4 tech I tried also got about that speed. 19. Right, FTX next. Unless we get a miracle from the HPI, because I know what the Associated is going to do, this is going to be the fastest. And the reason this is going to be the fastest is because it's the only brushless one. Don't get triggered just yet that this is the only brushless one. We'll chat about that in a bit. But remember, all of these are in the same price bracket. That's what we are comparing, all those in the same price bracket. In fact, this is the cheapest. This is the cheapest out of all of them. Surely that's not going to trigger you. 34. I've had 37 out of this before, but we'll take 34 mile an hour. It is a lot colder than the last time I took it out. Right, HPI. Whoa, this is sketchy, this one. Oh, the steering's so sensitive. Wow. This might be a chore to get this past full throttle. There you go, that's full throttle. Wow. Do, 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 do. Whoa, nearly. The tyres on this are definitely the hardest, although at least it slides, I suppose. Right, let's have a look then. 21, it seemed a little bit slower than that, but we'll take that. So, if the Huni truck gets more than 19, it's going to put the Traxxas at the bottom because currently the Traxxas is last and this is the last one to go. I've actually had to put a smaller battery in this. So it's got a 3,000 milliamp hour rather than 3,300. I think it's still the same 25C though, but it's got a shorty battery tray in it, so I couldn't fit that other lipo in. Come on, get the wind behind you. Oh, I don't know. Oh, wow. No, definitely not. Definitely not. Man, I think I mentioned this on the review video of this. The speed of this thing out the box as the Huni truck is not great. I think we found our last place. Drum roll. There you go, 17. Terrible. So I got my speeds in my hand. So we're going to start with the lowest, which is 5 for the Associated, a disappointing 17 miles an hour. And then it was the Traxxas with 19, HPI with a 21. Kyosho, not bad that. 20, I only wrote 23 then. And 23 mile an hour out of brush system is not bad. And then number 1, obviously FTX. Brushless. We'll talk about that in a minute. Next is performance, just under speed runs. It's a nice sunny day out there. However, the roads are still wet. So what I want to do is take them out on a wet surface and, well, try and judge how they perform. So we're going to look at quality. I've switched quality and value for money around because I don't think you can really talk about value for money until you've taken everything into consideration. So quality. So I reckon about 30 seconds or so, just a quick overview of each of them underneath the hood. I absolutely hate having to get body pins off with a pair of pliers. So many manufacturers don't make it easy. So HPI, all plastic chassis. You can see where it's been scraping on the floor now. Look at how low it sits out the box. Just almost dragging on the floor. Definitely a quality issue out the factory because there's space for the suspension to lift that ride height up a little bit. So yeah, so plastic all round, metal drive shafts up front, oil suspension that, well, the front's really low as well. I mean, it could be good, but it's hitting the floor before you get all the travel. Rear's the same, metal drive shafts in the rear. I'm going to presume it's got metal diffs in there. A basic brush setup, non-adjustable camber and toe, and at the rear, no adjustment at the rear either. Tyres feel quite nice and sticky, kind of a generic wheel there by the looks of it. Overall, not bad, but also not all that great really, especially with how that chassis is set up out of the box. It could be way better. So next we'll look at the Kyosho. Now, first glance of this, with that really nice body like we discussed and the mini light wheels, it's got sort of semi-clear windows there, very nice. However, things change slightly under the body. Now, I rate Kyosho as a really good brand, high quality and stuff, but this just doesn't seem to have that feel about it. I'm going to show you this first before we talk about the rest, because this is just something I noticed that kind of makes it not look that great quality. You can see like where the arms have been moulded, they've still got like bits of material on them. And I know it's nothing major, but when you look at the plastics on it, it just feels cheap. And talking of plastic, it's got plastic drive shafts, front and rear, non-adjustable camber and toe, and I really don't know what's going on there. Non-adjustable camber at the rear as well. Oil shocks don't feel that great. And this one also sits really low at the front. Basic brushed setup. You've got like a Hobbywing ESC there. Plastic drive shaft through the centre. Just chassis slaps. So body good, chassis not great. Should we just not judge them on the bodies? Because you can get all different types. Should we just judge it on the actual chassis? I think that's probably a better idea. Because if I think we were judging them overall, that would be just slightly above the HPI. However, I think that chassis setup is actually worse than that one. So let's put that one there. Put the HPI just in front, only just though. Next we look at the FTX, definitely slightly more premium looking underneath. Metal CVDs up front, adjustable camber, adjustable toe, it's not got turnbuckles, but there's adjustable toe, so adjustable camber and toe. Oil shocks, it's not dragging on the floor. Adjustable camber at the rear, again, suspension feels good. Anodized metal drive shaft through the center. Definitely metal gears on this. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of digging on this actually to see if these have got metal. Metal drive shafts in the rear, nice tub chassis underneath, rear valance there, and like I've mentioned, this one has got a full brushless setup. It's also got lights, full light setup on their front and rear. So at the moment, that's the order I'm putting them in. So Huni truck next. Ugh. So ignoring the body, even though it is extremely nice. There's the shorty battery tray I was talking about. Bit of a pain because normal batteries don't fit. I think the Apex Sport 2 or whatever has got a longer battery tray. Got metal drive shafts up front there. Non-adjustable camber and toe. Non-adjustable camber and toe at the rear. Metal drive shafts. Oil shocks. These are quite loose. I like the feel of it. I like how it kind of like wallows around a bit. I guess that's how it's meant to look. Metal drive shaft through the centre there. Feels nice and solid. Plastics look good. This one's got, I want to say, an FRP chassis. I can't remember what they call it. Hex hardware. As you'd expect from Associated, decent quality. Just, again, no adjustment or anything there, and a basic brushed setup. Although non-adjustable links and everything like that, I like the look and the feel of the quality of that. I like that chassis. So arguably you could say that brushless setup in there and adjustability should put it there. It just feels a little bit nicer. And finally, the Traxxas. So just your standard kind of Traxxas chassis under here. Plastics always feel good from Traxxas. Hex hardware. Again, nice feel on there. You got that front spoiler. It is non-adjustable camber and toe by the looks of it. Metal drive shafts up front. Metal at the rear, but it's got plastic diff cups. I think the fronts might be metal, but the rears are plastic. Suspension feels okay, but nah. I mean, it feels alright. Got a metal drive shaft going through the middle. You got the XL5 from Traxxas, a basic brush setup. And again, I'm going to presume it's got metal diffs in it. Decent looking tyres, wheels. Actually, bonus points as well. Clipless body. So much easier to get this thing off. Here's the difficult bit. I'm sticking with them two there. Getting these three in order is a tough one, but the quality of Traxxas is good. I think Associated, Traxxas, FTX, HPI, Kyosho. I'm sticking with that. I'm disappointed in the Kyosho. Definitely disappointed in that. HPI 4, FTX 3, was it Traxxas 2, and Associated 1. What a knob, I put that in performance. That's 4 of the 7 done. Let's look at what the scores are so far. 6, 11, 15, 4, 4, 6, 9, 2, 4, 5, 10, 5, 9, 11, 13, and 4, 7, 12, 13. So currently in first place is the FTX, closely followed by the Kyosho. Then it is joint third place for Traxxas and Associated, and coming in last with 15 at the moment. Let's see if the performance, spares and value for money can help the HPI move up the list. So before we go and look at performance, how would you like to win all of this? Yes, all 5 of these actual cars, obviously in their boxes with all the instructions and all the bits you get, apart from batteries, unless you're in the UK. Shipping batteries internationally is an absolute pain. Anyway, there is a link in the description that will take you to a prize competition where you can buy a ticket with the chance to win all 5 of these cars. So one person will get the lot. You'll also get some merch. I'd like to send you the scoreboard afterwards, but it might be a little bit big to get in the box. If I can squeeze it in, you can have that as well if you want. Competition will run all the way to the end of November, and then one person will win it all, and you should get it all before Christmas. So performance. Didn't run a full pack through any of them, but I ran them long enough to get a good idea of how they were going to perform. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, you should have taken them on a track and given them a proper test. Most people buy these and just take them out on the street or take them to their local parking lot or car park. These generally are not the cars that are raced. So I took them to where most users are going to use them, gave them a good run. I drove them normally and I drove them one-handed. I got a good feel for them. A couple of different surfaces, some smoother tarmac and then some that's a little bit more slippery. And we're going to start from the bottom up, and in 5th place is the HPI. The steering's really sensitive, so I turned the dual rate pretty much all the way down. That made it a little bit better. About 3 times it got a stone stuck in there, so it locked the steering up, so I had to go and free that off. A little bit tail happy. Before I went out, I did raise that suspension up, because obviously on the speed runs it was already dragging its back end on the floor, so I'd raised the suspension up, and obviously it helped a little bit, but unfortunately the HPI was not my favourite. 4th place was the Traxxas. Now this is the second Fortec I've had, and I actually quite liked the other one. I had the hot rod, and I thought it handled quite well. And this does handle well, it's just lacking a little bit of speed. And something that was actually a little bit annoying was, even though this has got that clean clipless body, it was the noisiest out of all of them. It's just rattling around. It kind of spoiled the experience a bit of the body rattling around everywhere, and it just, well, it just lacked a little bit of something. Now, third place, I'm putting the Associated. This thing definitely lacks some speed, and it was a tough decision between this and the Traxxas what to put third or fourth. One of the main reasons that this jumped to third rather than fourth was, even though it lacks a little bit of speed, you can run this 3S. You can't run the Traxxas 3S on the stock setup, so adding a little bit more speed will make this way better. Nice and direct. The suspension's maybe a little bit on the soft side. I think on my original video I might have tuned it a little bit more, but it's nice and direct, and yeah, run it 3S. This thing will be an absolute hoon. Second place is the Kyosho. Now, going into this, I wouldn't have put this at second. However, as we saw in the speed run, it is quite a bit faster than the others, and the extra speed just makes it a little bit more fun, and it just feels like it performed better. Same as the HPI initially, the steering was quite sensitive, so I turned the jaw rate down and it made a massive improvement. A lot more direct, you can get that back end out, and it surprised me this, even though I put it last for quality, it actually ran really nice. And first place is the FTX. It's brushless. It absolutely destroys all the others. It's got a gyro as well. You can throw it around. The suspension's good. You can jump it. It actually comes with a sway bar in the box as well. I haven't got the sway bar fitted, so it's going to handle even better with a sway bar. No contest. The FTX, #1. You can't compare a brushless to brushed. I don't care. I am comparing. 2 and 1. So next on the list is spares. So for this one, I put myself in a little scenario. I just got my brand new RC car. It's all nice and shiny and beautiful. And then I smack it into a curb and snap an A-arm. So I got a part number for a front arm for all of them. Went online to search. Pretty easy to find, spares everywhere. I think it was the most expensive out of all of them. Apart from that, we'll get onto that. FTX, again, UK brand, spares in stock, ready to go. Half the price of all the others there. It was like £8 for that, and that was like £4 something. Anyway, tick, tick. This one, you have to buy the full set. You can't buy a pair, it's like the whole lot, so makes it a lot more expensive, but it was in stock, so you're not going to be left without a running RC car for a while. HPI, in stock, relatively well priced as well. Kyosho, no problem with the arm on that one, easy to find, and again, relatively well priced. I wanted more than one example though, so you've just fixed that A-arm, take it back out for a rip, and then you blow a diff. I searched for the diff gears. Some of them you can buy full diff, some of them you can buy the gears separately. Again, all of them I could find. This one took me quite some time. I couldn't even find the part number, even on like the parts diagrams, I just couldn't find it. Turns out as well, it's plastic. It's the only one out of all of these that's got a plastic diff, but that came last in quality anyway. But did find them all. That one took the longest. It would be unfair to give one of them 5 points and one of them 1 point when you can get all the spares. So I've gone for some smaller scores, and in last place is the Kyosho. That gets 2.5. Took me like 4 times as long to find the diff for that. It wasn't very easy at all. Associated is in 4th place, so that gets 2. And the reason for that is, well, you had to buy a full set. You couldn't just buy an individual one, and I had the same issue on my MT8. Had to buy a full set of arms. 3rd place was Traxxas, but that gets 1.5 points. Plenty of spares about. They're just a little bit more expensive than FTX and HPI. Both of these I gave 1 point. Easy to find and, well, cheaper. So now we've gone over everything, we can talk about value for money, and we're going to start with the HPI. Fully ready to run. Comes with AAs for your transmitter. Probably should have done all this in performance. All the functions you need on there, steering trim, throttle trim, dual rates and stuff like that. And it comes with a battery, so it's fully ready to run. It's a bit weird seeing a Tamiya connector on a modern car. Get a charge with it. Tools in there, spare body clips, some spares and some other bits and pieces. Not a great performer out of the box. It didn't do all that well. However, fully ready to run. You can make a few tweaks to make it better. I don't think that's too bad of a deal. The Traxxas, now this doesn't come fully ready to run. You get a set of instructions, you get a speed pinion in there to make it go a little bit quicker. Get some other bits and pieces, instructions in there. Pretty limited transmitter. Again, probably should have mentioned that in performance, but I think I put Traxxas 4th anyway, so it probably would have stayed there. You're getting a really nice looking fully licensed body, and this isn't the only one they do loads of different ones. It's the most expensive out of all of them. It's even more of a sale on now, so you can get it cheaper than I got it. However, the actual price of this, not a great deal for us in the UK. If you get them on sale, yes, they're not bad. I don't think I'd ever want to pay full price for one. So Associated, the Huni truck. You're getting a super scale, really nice looking car. You're getting that Associated quality, well made. It's lacking in a bit of speed, which is, yeah, it's a little bit underwhelming once you get it going. However, you can run it 3S. It does wake it up. It does make it more fun. You get a transmitter, full functions on there. You've got a locker in there, you can lock the rear diff, and you've got a different spur gear to change the gear in. Overall, not a bad package. The same as the Traxxas. At full price, that's not a lot for your money. I think a lot of that money is going into the Hoonigan branding on this. Nevertheless, if you're a Hoonigan fan like me, well, you're probably going to buy it. The Phaser Mark II. Now, this is the first time I've ever had one of these. And although it looks absolutely amazing, take the body off though, and I was pretty disappointed with what you were getting under there. This comes with some tools, some spares, and well, it looks like some spare discs in there as well. Rotors, some instructions. Apart from the Traxxas, all of them have got all functions on there, steering dual rates, throttle trims and stuff like that. For the price of this, I would at least expect metal diffs and metal drive shafts. That was a real shock that it's got plastic drive shafts and plastic diffs. Kyosho, if you look at their legendary series, like this, these are like the creme de la creme. And I'm pretty sure that Turbo Scorpion is about the same price as this. So, I don't know. Last and definitely not least, and I get a lot of crap off people with FTX. You've watched this whole video now. What don't you agree with me on? It's the fastest, it's the cheapest, it performs the best. Granted, it didn't score the highest in the best looking, mainly because it's not licensed. As it says on the box, it comes 99% ready to run. It comes with a 2S LiPo and charger. I don't know what else to say. Well, apart from which I think's the best, I've really struggled for what order to put them in. I'm struggling. Second, third, fourth and fifth. I've changed it about 4 times. I won't leave second to HPI, but when you look at like performance, speed, quality and stuff, should it really get second? It's got to be between these two, but then at full price, they're not value for money. I'm going to do it at the price I paid. We're going to ignore full price. I think it's probably the Traxxas. Because of the quality, the looks and stuff, the availability of parts, Associated 3, let's give HPI 4 and Kyosho 5, that'll do. Sticking with it.
Straight over to George and say, what are the scores? George does.
Coming in last place with a total score of 25 is the HPI. In 4th place with a score of 21 is the Associated. Closely followed in 3rd place by the Traxxas with 20.5. And that means 2nd place is Kyosho with 19.5 and 1st place with 12, FTX. So there we go guys, that is the end of this video, and I'm sure quite a few of you will disagree, and I understand that those of you in the US can't get hold of this. Well, you can get them from AliExpress, but obviously then spares availability isn't going to be there for you. However, if we just take spares out of the equation, this is still a winner. Anyway, you're allowed your own opinion. You can disagree with me. That is the great thing about our lives. We can all have our own opinion and we don't need to listen to anyone else. Anyway, if you want to win all 5 of these with all the stuff that comes with them, apart from batteries, there's a link in the description to the prize competition where you can win them. As you've seen, they are all one careful owner. This one has had quite a few battery packs through it, but as you saw in this video, it's still a little ripper and it goes so well. Anyway, link in the description to all of this. Cheers for watching. I'll see you next time.